Welcome back, viewers. So, welcome to our channel Make Math Easy. In this class, we are going to discuss about what are the different models of differentiation we have. What I mean by different models here is, based on the way the function is existing, we are going to approach the procedure for differentiation in a multiple ways. So when we have to go for which type of differentiation, that we are going to discuss in this class. So primarily in this class I am going to tell you about first model of differentiation, which is making use of chain rule, and if possible we will discuss the main difference between implicit function and explicit function, right? So let's get started. First let me give you what is basically the chain rule is. So chain rule is a simple thing. You can understand the word chain. The word chain suggests here that if you are having a group of functions, chain rule. So as the name suggests here, chain rule, chain here, indicating that it's not basically a single function. It is a group of functions together. So that means whenever you are having, for example, if I take this function sine of x square, you can understand one point here very clearly, that this is not basically a single function. Why? Because generally sine x, like that, these types sine x, cos x, tan x, these are called as a simple functions. But you can observe here I am having another function x square here. So that means it is basically a combination of two functions. One is a sine function and one is an x square function. In class 11, we learned one topic called as an composite function. So as the word suggests, composite, which is having more than one function in the picture, then it is called as a composite function. If I just say it as a sine x, this is called as a simple function because there is no other function involved here. Whereas if you take this case sine of x square, two functions are involved here. That's why this type of functions are called as an composite functions. Now the question comes here is how to generate sine of x square using sine x and x square. So for our explanation purpose, let me take this sine x as an f of x and this x square as an g of x. Okay, so let me give this name as an h of x here. So if I find, we learned that in our class 11 how to find f circle g of x, g circle f of x. This is equal to f of g of x. So this is only called as an function in a function. If you just observe, this g of x is inside the function of f function, right? So this type of functions are called as in composite functions, and whenever you are having functions in this way, we have to go for using the chain rule. So f of g of x, f of inner function you have to simplify always first. So g of x is x square. So here many students used to get confused. That's why I am going for another simple step. I am taking x square as an a. That means that f circle g of x will become now f of a. So f of x is sin x, f of a will become sin a. That's why it will become sin of x square here, right? So whenever you are finding the composite function, you have to always first look for the inner function. You have to simplify first, followed by the outer function. But when it comes to applying differentiation for this function h of x is equal to sin of x square h dash of x. That means if I apply differentiation on both sides, it will become d by dx of sin of x square. Now understand here, as you can see from the function itself, the outer main function is sine function and the inner function is x square function, right? So first you have to simplify the outer function because that is the main function. Later only you have to go for the inner function. You can see here sine function is the main function here. So sine function differentiation is cos function, so that will be cos of x square. But this is not x, this is x square. So as this is other than x, you have to go for inner derivative for this, that is d by dx of x square. So we know that d by dx of x square means 2x. Finally, my answer will become 2x into cos of x square. 2x into cos of x square is my answer. So the first thing, when you have to apply the chain rule, whenever you see the functions which are not in the standard form, see for example x square, e power x, a power x, sin x, cos x, these are all the standard functions that we learned the formulations with respect to differentiation. When the function is not existing in the standard form, you have to go for the chain rule, right? Now let us do one or two questions based on this chain rule, and later we will go for the discussing of implicit and explicit functions. Right. Now see here, for example, if I give you a question like this, y is equal to, say let us take the basic question, something like a tan inverse of e power x, and you are asked to find dy by dx. Okay. Now you can understand here, generally the standard form of the function with respect to tan inverse is tan inverse x, that's it. So if you apply differentiation for this with respect to x, dy by dx is equal to d by dx of tan inverse of e power x. So we know that tan inverse function differentiation is 1 by 1 plus x square, that means e power x whole square. You can understand here, this is clearly not x, this is e power x. So when it is other than x, go for inner differentiation for that, you will get d by dx of e power x. So e power x differentiation is e power x because we used to say it's a reflexive function. So this is e power x plus 1 by e power 2x. So this is how you should identify what is the main function, and according to that you have to apply the differentiation. Simply, what is the main function, how to identify the main function is whichever function you can see it as an outer function, that means immediately what you can see, that type of function is called as a main function or outer function, right? So please spend time on understanding or identifying the outer function, then obviously you can be able to get the correct answer, right? Now I will give you one simple question. Mostly with this question you will get a clarity how to simplify the how to use the chain rule. See this question now. If I give you something like this, y is equal to sine of x square, sine square of x, sine square of x square, right? Usually these type of questions, there are high chances for students to get confused. So let us do it in a simple way. You can understand at what are the different functions they had given here, 3 different functions. All these 3 are combination of 2 functions. You can understand that part clearly, because with respect to sine, my standard function representation is sin x, but here sine of x square, sine square of x, sine square of x square they had given. So it is only just to confuse us. Let us go ahead with the calculation part. If I apply differentiation on both sides, I will be getting d by dx of sine of x square, d by dx of sine square of x, d by dx of sine square of x square, right? Because we can split the addition, that's the basic rule we can do. So let me make it into 3 parts and then we will go for the calculation, so that you know your understanding level will be a little bit easy. Okay. This is, let it be first part, second part and third part. Okay. Now let us come to the simplification part. See here, Please go for a guess. What is the main function? You can see here outside you can see sine function. So if I apply differentiation, it will become cos of x square, because sine function differentiation is cos. But this is not x. Inner derivative for that will become 2x. This is done. Come here. Here identify the outer function. Is it sine square x or it's a sine x? That is the question will comes to us. See, I told you what is the mainly that you can see, that is called as an outer function. You can rewrite this as d by dx of sin x whole square, right? Which means this whole square is my outer function, because that is the function first I can see, followed by the sin x function. So if I apply differentiation here, I have to use the x power n formula. So to n into x power n minus 1. But this is not x. So inner derivative for that will become cos x. 2 sin x cos x. Now come to the last part. D by dx of sine square of x square. Again try to identify what is the outer function. Sine of x square whole square. This is my function. See, every time you just have to how you can rewrite the function so that it will give us idea. If you keep the question as it is, whatever they had given, for sure there are high chances for getting confused and not getting any thought of how to proceed. But you should modify the function according to your own wish, and then accordingly you have to proceed. So again here 2, again I have to make use of the same x power n rule only. But this is not x, so inner derivative for that will be d by dx of sine of x square. So you can see here 2 sine of x square. But if you observe here, even here also you are having two different functions. One is sine and one is x square. I think now you can guess correctly what is my outer function. Yes, it's obviously sine function. So derivative will become cos of x square. But is it x or other than x? Obviously it's other than x. So into derivative of that will become 2x. So finally my answer will become for this 4x sine of x square cos of x square. So finally my answer is, it's all addition between them. dy by dx is equal to 2x cos of x square 2 sin x cos x. If you want you can write this as, just please try to recall the formula, nothing but sin 2x. This is 4x sine of x square cos of x square. So this is how you have to make use of the chain rule, right? So again I will just quickly recall what are the rules that you have to remember. First thing, what is the functions, whether it is a single function or a composite function, first point. Second thing, if it is a composite function, what is the main function here, that is the second point. And then you have to just apply whether it is in the standard form or not. If it is not in standard form, what is the function, first I have to apply differentiation followed by the inner differentiation, right? Now see, this is all about the chain rule. Now I will just tell you what are the different types of functions based on their representation, how we can classify them, and how to apply differentiation for those type of questions, right? Now see, basically functions can be categorized as two types of functions, depends on their way. One is implicit function and another is explicit function. So we know that function means it will be having a one variable or a two variable in it. So sometimes we are having a question like this, f of x is equal to something like x square plus 9 if I say. You can understand very one important point here. This is a function in the variable x here. That's why I wrote it as a f of x. So you can see here y is equal to x square plus 9 if I give you. Okay. So you can observe here this is having a two variables y and x, and if I ask you value of x means you can write my answer as a root over y by 9. If you just try to observe the similarity among these two terms is, here I express y completely in the form of x, whereas here I express x completely in the form of y. So which function, if you are able to represent it completely in the other terms, then it is called as an explicit function. Explicit function. See, for example, if I give you y is equal to sin x, you can see here y is represented completely in the form of x, and from this if I ask you the value of x, that is nothing but sin inverse of y. So this type of questions are called as, this type of functions are called as an explicit functions. So if I ask you to find the derivative for this, directly you will say answer for me dy by dx as in cos x. And even for this also, if you apply something derivative, you will get an answer, right? Now let us talk about the explicit functions. So the explicit functions are the functions where you cannot represent y completely in the form of x, where you cannot represent y completely in the form of x, or even vice versa also, right? That means, for example, if I take any question something like this, x square plus xy is equal to something like a pi y, right? Or pi x if I take. If I ask you to find the value of x here, you will be getting, on in all these terms you are having x as a common, you can cancel out the x here. So let us take this as something like pi x square. Okay. Now you can understand this part. If you try to find the value of y, you will get for sure in terms of x. If I take this as a pi x square y, now if you go for the further simplification, here you are having a y term, here you are having a y term, but here you don't have a y term. So if you try to find out the value of y or x, you cannot get a pure representation of y in terms of x or x in terms of y. That is why this type of functions are called as an implicit functions, right? For example, I can just give a simple example like this: x square plus y square is equal to xy. This is a better example. You can understand here, from this if I ask you to find the value of y, you may send this y square to other side. You can get like this: x square is equal to xy minus y square. My requirement is y. So from this if I write y value, I will get x square by x minus y. You can understand here, I am not getting the value of y purely in the form of x. I am having some sort of y present here. Similarly, from this if I ask you to find the x value, x square is equal to xy minus y square, x is equal to root over xy minus y square. Again, x I am not getting purely in the form of y because I am having some sort of x here, right? So because of this type of reasons, these functions are called as an implicit functions, right? So the basic difference between implicit and explicit is, explicit functions can be able to change or modify in such a way that y can be written purely in the form of x or x can be written in the purely form of y. Whereas implicit functions, we cannot represent the function purely in the form of other variable. You will be getting like this or like this. That is why these functions are called as an implicit functions, right? In the next class, in the next video, we will discuss how you have to apply differentiation for the implicit functions, right? Hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions related to any topic from class 10, 11 and 12, you can post in the comment section. so that in the next video we will clarify your doubt. Thank you, students.